Welcome to the podcast show, y'all. I'm your host, Brendan Brown, and today we got a wonderful special guest here by the name of Kenclusions. He's a motivational speaker, a YouTuber that speaks on the same topics such as me with personal growth, self-improvement, motivation, everything. Tell us your name and you speak out.
Appreciate the opportunity. Conclusion stems from my name, Kennedy. And the reason that the YouTube channel was called Conclusions is basically my channel is basically focused on the freedom of thought and the development of the self and the betterment of the self. So when you come to a conclusion, that means that you're coming to the end of a thought. So when you're coming to the end of a thought, you got the conclusion. So instead of putting the CON, I put the Ken since my name starts off as Kennedy and I put it together.
That's good. That's good. So you told us the name of it and how it got started, but why particularly did you want to do motivational?
Push for something motivational because I feel like a lot of people kind of, go through a lot of the same things, but it's kind of taboo and not talked about because, on social media and online and, in day-to-day life, it seems like everybody got to figure it out together, but I really wanted to kind of break the mold and really just put them relatable topics out there. And my channel is also more than just motivational stuff too. At each and every single video, I bring up like a relatable topic or a situation that a lot of people go through. And then towards the end of the video, I bring a solution or a new perspective that people could benefit from. So I touch on the many different type of topics that I feel like bring a lot of self-awareness and kind of, move people in the right direction.
Yeah. And with self-awareness, since you talked about that, what's something that you notice that people don't be really self-aware?
It's really a lot of different things, but to kind of keep it short and frank, I feel like it's just the awareness of the self. From day to day life, you could get caught in just you could get caught in so many different types of things. Going to your job every day, finishing your homework on time, blah blah blah, and you get so caught up in so many different things that you really don't take time out for yourself, and you'll have these different emotions that you might not be able to be equipped to handle. So it's really about taking out time inside for yourself to really figure out yourself and really hone in on what you want to do. And I also feel like that's why a lot of people kind of feel lost because they're constantly moving forward and just doing all these different type of things where they don't take time to sit with themselves and really figure out where they're headed. So that's why I feel like people will feel down, might feel depressed or go through certain things because it's like, if you don't know who you are and your place in this world, then how could you be a productive member of the society if you don't, know what you are or what you got going on,
Yeah. What experiences led you to being who you became?
Man, I hope.
Yeah.
I hope when I answer, yeah, okay, yeah, because I didn't know if you want to really have you give me the whole thing.
That's the point of this podcast. But that's the point of this podcast. We're here to be authentic. I give authentic questions. I don't try to write on the notes. So like everything I'm saying is right from here, and a little bit maybe from my notes as I write down as I speak with you. But usually with my guests, I try to make it authentic. So say what you got to say. Don't feel like you have to be too long or too short. Say what you have to say.
Really give you the answer that I want to give you, man. I would honestly never say that I'm self-made. I would say that I'm a product of good circumstances and good people around me to get to where I am today. And pretty much since I was a kid, man, my mom always instilled in me a certain type of confidence that I could really do anything I put my mind to. And when you're shown that from birth and just always instilled like, yeah, you could do this, you just got to put in hard work, do this, boom, boom, boom. And you really internalize that going into the world as I grew up. It really made me feel like, dang, if I put in enough work to do this, I could really accomplish anything. And my dad, for planting the seed, he always had them leadership type of qualities. And I don't know, I honestly feel like I'm like kind of living out some of his goals because he actually tried to do the same thing too, where he had motivational stuff, ran the business that was all kind of rooted in like the self-development and just all those different type of things. So I'm really honestly picking up right where he left off and having those two different type of parents where it's just rooted in just like having this type of confidence about yourself, this type of aura and having that leadership qualities that really made me feel like I had a voice. And my dad gave me that voice, but my mom gave me the confidence to really use that voice. And it wasn't always like this, I still was like a creative and I was still really enlightened. But, as a kid, you're still trying to find yourself and really figuring out what you want to do. So it's kind of crazy, just like all the different stuff I did. Like I done made like comics, drawings. I didn't play basketball. I did a little bit of everything. And for a while, I was settled in on basketball, which is cool. But, as I got older, man, it was cool having a coach and all them different type of stuff. But the biggest thing for me was like, when you really feel like you could do anything, you really put your mind to anything that you want to do. It's kind of silly when somebody will tell you and be like, oh no, you can only be this. You can only do this. But when you really feel like you could do anything, it kind of make you feel like, well, what you mean I can only do this? So I kind of started to branch away from that, and conclusions, really getting back to the basis of your question, conclusions came from like a very dark place in my life. Like, I played basketball for about seventh grade all the way till my freshman year of college, full time. I was on the team, blah, 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 whatever. And that was one of the hardest points of my life because I was playing basketball for so long, whatever, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go to the NBA, I'm going to do this, blah, 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 the whole type of thing. But I was actually really good. That's why I made it to college. So it was really like a possible, like, goal I could hit. But during like the middle of the season, I kind of realized, like, dang, I don't know if I'll be able to make it. Like, dang, I don't know if this might be like, like the full thing for me. Like, dang, this might not work out all the way. And you got to think, when you've been so focused in on a goal for so long and you feel like that's not attainable or it might not happen, you could really spiral into so many different places because you're like, man, I've been working so hard for this one type of goal, and if this don't happen, what am I even finna do? So I felt so directionless because it was like, dang, if I can't work it out with hooping, what am I gonna do with my life? Like, no, I don't want no regular job. I know I still want to still do cool stuff, blah blah blah, whatever. So I really got really down because it's just like I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was in school taking general classes, so it was like even when I was in school, it was so general where it was just like I didn't know what I wanted to do. And over the course of going through that, I kind of settled in like, dang, okay, if I'm going through this and having all these different type of hardships and just really having a tough time, a bunch of other people are really going through that too. So conclusions got sparked, I would say in February, about a year ago, when I was pretty much at my lowest with basketball, and I was like, okay, if I'm going through all this different type of stuff, I'm sure other people are going through that too. But at the same time, I still was playing basketball, and I still was trying to chase that. So conclusions was actually kind of on the back burner, And then right around like July, it was crazy, man. I got like to like a bad car accident, bro. Like this drunk driver had hit me, dog, and it just really kind of sparked something in me because it's just like seeing how quick like that could have happened and just like changed everything. That really changed my perspective on life because it was like, dang, okay, like literally just like that, everything can change. So instead of using death as like something that would be super scary and be scared of, I kind of welcomed it and tried to use it as like a motivator because it's like, dang, okay, I don't know if I got 20 years, 80 years, or a few days or whatever. So I use that time to just be like, okay, the time is now to really attack my goals and really do what I want to do. And kind of going through all the different type of things and really being at my lowest of my low, that really inspired me to motivate people, especially since I done made it through. So it's like when I hear their stories and them saying like, oh, I went through all this different type of stuff. This was super hard. I could relate to that because I've been down in the dumps. I've been not able to figure it out and go through all the different type of things. So my type of thing is, okay, if I can make it out of it, you can too. So if I'm able to spread awareness and just put that different type of stuff out there, it'll show people like, dang, he got all these different type of followers, blah, 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 or whatever, but dang, he goes to all the same different type of things. So just like how you always said, on your developmental podcast, you want to keep it authentic. So that's what I'm really trying to do with like my content, is really just show people like, it's okay to go through these different type of problems. It's okay to maybe have depressive thoughts and just all this different type of stuff because we all go through that. The only thing I'm doing is just shedding light on that to let you know that a lot of people go through that and sometimes it's really hard. So it's like if you're a fan of conclusions, you basically a fan of yourself because I'm just like the espresso that helps you kind of get you up in the morning to kind of help you do what you got to do, really, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's awesome. That really is awesome. I know you said you had a lot of stuff you did in the past before. Are you ever interested in going back to doing it? Because you say you draw comic books, which is awesome. Basketball, that's great too. I saw the highlight of you shooting the threes on one of your YouTube videos. So I know you say you don't want to do that stuff, but do you ever have thoughts, or are you ever interested in wanting to go back and maybe incorporate them to your motivational videos and have them like be motivational through that too?
Man, I mean, really ever since a kid, I was really big into just like animations and just like stories and just like, superheroes and all like the whole 9 yards. And I just always thought it was so cool, just like with the creative side of things, how like the human mind could come up with so many different concepts and put it out there for other people to see,
Yeah.
and basically from a kid's perspective and being inspired by different shows that I watched and all them different type of things, I wanted to create my own stuff. So like seeing Spider-Man and all that different type of stuff, okay, I want to make my own hero. I want to draw that too, and I want to create that too because blah blah blah. So although I might not be making comic books anymore, what I'm trying to get into slowly is like animation. Where like eventually one day I want to be able to create, animated TV shows, cartoons, or whatever, where it touches like on real life subjects, and ways that people could relate to it. You know what I'm saying? So I still do definitely want to bring that type of stuff back eventually. I'm just kind of like sometimes it comes a point in time where like you really got to focus in on a certain niche to really make sure it goes the way that you want it to go, and then you could circle back to do different type of things. And with basketball, I mean, I still do play basketball. Actually, this morning I was still playing basketball, but as far as that team stuff and like the coaching stuff like that, I'm kind of pretty much leaving that behind, man, because being real, like just like you say, keeping it authentic, and still keeping it professional. Like, you know, once you get to college and there's a lot of money involved in like the sports, it really just isn't like just the sport anymore. It's a lot of politics behind, the higher that you go up. Just like with any industry. Think about if you was having like making a lot of whole money from this podcast, blah blah blah, or whatever. Now it's way more pressure to perform and get certain type of guests that help promote your audience forward. So now it's
Yeah.
not just about like you just talking to other people. It's about many other different things. So that's why like in college you got to think people's scholarships are on the line. So if I'm averaging like 1 point and I'm using up like all this scholarship money, you're gonna try to get another guy in there to fulfill that to help the team. So I mean, which is cool, but as far as like that whole, team thing and just like with the coaching stuff like that, I don't know. Just as I got older and matured into a man, I was just kind of like, dang, like it's not like I don't know. It might sound like a certain type of way, but it's like I was just kind of thinking like, man, when you feel like you could really do anything that you put your mind to, it's kind of hard to listen to people like, no, you got to do this, you got to play this role, and it's like, I know I can really play this role, but off the way that you see, you think I can only do this. And I really want to just control my own destiny because it's like you could put in a whole lot of work in something, but at the end of the day, if that coach doesn't see fit what he wants for his team, I'm not going to say all that work goes to waste. I'm just going to go on the back burner because it's like, oh no, you just a shooter. You can't be a driver. You can't pass. You can't do this. You just need to be a shooter. So now it's like, dang, I done worked on all these other skills, but I can't even showcase that because you don't think it fits on that. So that's why it's like way deeper than just like stopping playing basketball. It's really just like having full ownership of your life. You know what I'm saying? Really like
Yeah.
controlling. Because imagine you had somebody on your podcast say, okay, you're only able to do these different type of guests because I feel like you talk best with these guests. You would be like, no, what do you mean? I'm able to talk to really anybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
like my thing. Really controlling like, what you want to do and really just furthering like your goal. And to be honest, I still play basketball, blah, 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 whatever, but I was using basketball as the tool to help my life. Now I am the tool. And I think that's real cool. Just like, think about like your podcast. Like that literally came out your mind. Nobody else didn't have that idea but you. So it's like, even if you went to go play a sport, it still wouldn't be as sweet as like something that came out your head where like, even us being on this call was like a thought. And it's like, when you really
Yeah.
think about that, that's crazy that you was able to see it through and have your podcast come to fruition and for you to be able to see it through. And that's really hard because think about how many doubts you had probably trying to start your podcast. Like, damn, I don't know if people would listen. Damn, I
Yeah.
don't know if like, I don't know, like maybe it'd be cringy. Maybe my friends would think that I'm trying to be some influencer and it's corny, blah, blah, blah. But it's like you silenced all that noise and you still did what you wanted to do. And it's like stuff like that that can't be created besides you. And that's the type of stuff I'm into. And that's why I feel like I'm so big on this creativity because it's just like through these films and videos that I make, you could really showcase all those different type of emotions within like 10 minutes and have people walk away from something and really turn their life around just based off a 10-minute video that they seen, which is super powerful. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
eventually, like you said, kind of getting back to your question, man, eventually I kind of do want to pick up back those things, but I also feel like in life is certain stages where you focus on certain things and you kind of leave those things behind because they don't suit you all the way, you know?
Yeah. And 100% I agree with everything you say, especially when you talked about, not knowing what to do, being worried, being scared, being, like, oh, is this going to work out? Is this really, and it is shocking because I believe both of our paths kind of align because if I'm not mistaken here, what I just heard you say when you're doing basketball, you were not thinking that you would do anything else but basketball, and look how you led to doing conclusions. Same thing with me as well. I would never think I would be a podcast host because or before COVID, I said I wanted to be a YouTuber, but I said that ain't a real job. That was back in 2019 now, before it became even a bandwagon thing. I was like, I don't need to do this. I don't need to do no podcast. And my best friend, Jeremiah Patterson, at the time, he told me about it because he has podcast. He was like, podcast is just basically a YouTube and audio version. Ever since I was hesitating to start, but I felt that, like, God or somebody was telling me to start. And ever since I started March 21st, 2020, it led to so much things, from my books to my clothing brand, to me rebranding the podcast because it wasn't always originally called the Development Pod. It was called Brendan Brown's Collections of Facts and Theories, but that was too long of a name and that didn't really make sense of what I was talking about.
Smart. Yeah, for sure.
And I said, this ain't a history podcast. This is a self-improvement podcast. So it need to be called a development pod because development basically is like how my logo is with the arrow up. It's just like a pod with a seed. When you plant a seed, what happens? It grows. Just like in the Bible, for me personally, I'm a Christian. When you have a seed, right? One plants, one water, God do the increase. And so that's how I see it with me doing this podcast, that, like, I'm here to help you, but then eventually you're going to have to help yourself or someone else going to help you as well, too. But, mainly when you're coming to my podcast, I'm here to motivate you and help you grow and develop into the person you can become. And what you said there was awesome, man, because like you said, you made it through. And like you said earlier, you didn't worry what people say. You wanted to not work a normal job. You didn't want to leave. You don't want to be in normal society. You wanted to do you. And even with you struggling, what you said with me doing a podcast, you were saying you probably went to adversity. Yes, I did. I went through a lot of adversity, but I still made it through. And that's what I want to lead to our next question is, what can you say on people that are dealing with adversity, especially people that are following their purpose and their goals?
I really might break it down into 2 or 3 parts. I'm gonna see how I will tackle it. But really tackling the question head on, bro, is like, to anybody that's going through something hard, shit, whether it might seem small or like big, it's just like, know that storm eventually does pass over. But it's like when you going through it, like you're really going through it, so it's hard to see a way out. But it's just like, think about what a storm is. Right before the storm, stuff is good, sunshine is okay, it's cool, and then it gets to raining super hard. It's raining super hard, stuff look crazy, all that. Yeah. But then like 20 minutes later, the sun will be out and it'll be a rainbow. You know what I'm saying? But you had to go through that bad part to really like appreciate what you have now. So it's like, I'll give you an example, and this is like a great example. I had been doing YouTube and just like the whole conclusions things for about a year. And basically, a year is like a decent amount of time. And it's kind of not, but like when you posting every single other day, then it is like a long time because you're coming up with original ideas just like all the time. So I say that to say is like, I know to other people's eyes, it's like, dang, yeah, just blew up overnight. Like that video took off and then boom, now he's on doing interviews, this. But it really wasn't like that. Overnight success takes 1,000 nights for that one night just to go. And it's like, I know people probably try to say like, oh man, you probably knew that video was going to blow up. But it's like, nah, I didn't, bro. I just put in a lot of effort into it and it just happened like that. What I say that to say is, for so long, I was waiting for that blow up and I was praying for it to happen. I was praying for one of the videos to take off and it wasn't. But I still had to persevere and go through that adversity because it's like, if you really love something, you'll see it through and like make it happen before you even get money from it or before you even get notoriety from it. So, in going through all that for a year, some of my videos only getting 20 views, 30 views. People that I thought that had reposted their friends and stuff like that, not showing me no love on it. And, that would take a toll. It's like, dang, you know how bad I want this. And you like my boy I know for so long. It's like, dang, you're not even showing me no love. I ain't watching the videos. I ain't reposting. That would take a toll because it's like, dang, dude, like, how am I finna like kind of make it when it's just like the people that I know most, like, not really supporting. And that all take a toll, and I was taking a toll where I'm just like, man, how am I finna do all this influencer stuff, especially when there's so many people out here doing the same thing. Like, there's so many people out here with podcasts and influencers and all that. But you keep on seeing it through and working hard, it'll happen. I say all that to say, and I know I keep on saying that, but when I did get that blow up, it helped me realize that I had to go through what I had to go through to really appreciate what I have now. all them different type of nights where I was struggling trying to get my videos out there, and I was a starving artist, and I really didn't have no direction and stuff like that. And so many times I thought about quitting and wanted to quit. When I finally did get that blow up, and I finally did get the notoriety from it, and a lot of people did start appreciating my content. I was really able to appreciate because I knew what it was like before that even happened. So I had to go through all that to really understand and really grasp and really be humble enough to take on the praise. Because it's like now, like when I get messages like, "Oh, bro, your video helped me. My favorite YouTube ever, blah, blah, blah," whatever. It could be really easy to get caught up into that praise and be like, "Oh, man, these people need me. Oh, I'm that guy. Oh, I'm him. I need this. Oh, yeah, y'all need blah, blah, blah." But you got to realize, though, it's just like, man, you got to be humble because I'm really just a vessel of just goodwill and just like good energy and just spreading like positivity. And there's no reason to like, have an ego about it or not be humble because, I mean, God and the universe will show you that it could be taken away just like that. And that's what I had learned from my car accident with the drunk driver. It's like, no matter what, it could just happen this quick. So who am I to be unhumble or have an ego and feel like, oh, people need me, this. Like, that's not genuine. And that all goes back to like how you said with this podcast, you like to keep things authentic. So it's just like, even going back more into the question, like, when you're in that storm, it's going to be real hard. When you're in that storm, it's going to be like super hard and you're going to feel like you're not going to make it through. And it's like, don't fight it. When you start to feel bad and you start to go through a lot of different type of things, don't try to fight it. You got to feel it, go through it all the way, really internalize how you feel, but realize that a feeling is just the past. It's just a passing feeling. Like, you aren't your feelings. Your feelings are just feelings that you have, and eventually it'll pass through. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing really, man, is just like, honestly, just really like keep going, and it's super cliche, but it's like when you keep on going, good things happen. And it's just like, sometimes don't focus so much on like the work and like, what could happen and what could happen. Just like, just do it honestly, bro. And it's just like, one thing I thought about like before the blow up, bro, was just like, I had put in my mind like, okay, dang, even if none of my videos ever take off and it just never pan out the way that I thought it would, I was like, okay, if I could look back and say like, man, at least I tried to do what I wanted to do, and even though it didn't work out, at least I tried. I was able to tell my future kids that or whatever. Nobody would look at me sideways because at the end of the day, he'd be like, well, I mean, he tried every single day to make that happen. Even though it didn't pan out, at least he showed up and like did the work. And sometimes it's not even about the destination or where you get, bro. It's really about like the journey. Because it's like, what's more important in the end? All the money or that you got or what you didn't get in the destination, like the journey. Because it's really about who you become as like a character. You feel me? And that's all that life is about. Really just like developing your character and really feeling, figuring out who you are. And it's like through all those bad experiences that develops your character and really helps you figure out like your place in the world. And it's like, if you never had any adversity, what would life be? It honestly be kind of really bland because it's like, okay, every day is going to be good, whatever. And that's just all it'll be. So it's like, you got to have them ups and downs because overall it'll cause like a balance and it'll really be able to figure out like, what this type of life stuff is about really, man. So I hope I didn't go too all over the place for the people that watch this, man, but I'm really trying to touch on all subjects, man.
Hey, you're being authentic. That's part of it. Being authentic. And I love it. I love it, man, because, hey, what you're saying here, it could be bringing somebody new perspectives. That's the point. We're here to bring new perspectives. We're here to motivate them. And not really bring new perspectives, but more of like understanding that everything doesn't have to necessarily be the same way it always be. It can be different. It doesn't necessarily be what society says it has to be. Sometimes, like you say, you have to go through the adversity to get what you want to get real good. Even people who are in normal society have to go through adversity. But the difference between a normal person and a person who want to be successful is that the normal person, they don't let society control them, so they just see it as going through the motion, versus the person who's there to want to be successful, they're not going through the motion, but they actually want to move forward, move away, avoid, and move ahead of the normal society.
I actually want to make a comment on that too, if you don't mind, bro.
Come on, make a comment on that. I'm proud.
Yeah, so especially how you said, like, it's two different versions of people, one trying to do something else, and like, a lot of people will say, oh, you should do this, blah, 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 whatever. And it's like, whether you're a creative, a businessman, or you're trying to pursue something that's outside the norm, I'm telling everybody out here that's eventually going to watch this, man, it's just like, a lot of people won't understand, bro. Like what you want with your life, a lot of people won't get. Your mom won't get, your dad might not get it, your girlfriend, your boyfriend might not get it, your friends might not get it. And it's not for them to get. Sometimes you have visions where it's only for your eyes only. And you really gotta hone in on that and really still go forth. Because it's like, to tell you the truth, bro, like, and this is keeping it honestly real authentic, bro. Like this past semester, I like left school to really pursue content. And it looks super, super crazy because it's like, dang, I left school, dropped out or whatever, wasn't going to school or whatever. Now, eventually I'm gonna go back, obviously. But it looks super crazy when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go do content, whatever. My video's getting 10 views, not making me no money, and it was looking crazy. And I ain't gonna lie, I had a few doubts because I'm like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have did that because it's like, dang, bro, YouTube not bringing no money. People not watching my videos, bro. And it's like, dang, maybe I shouldn't have did that or whatever. But I always feel like when in doubt, bro, just bet on yourself, bro. Because even if it all hit the fan, at least you can be like, okay, I bet it on myself, it didn't work out. And if you could look yourself in the mirror, be like, okay, I tried everything and it still didn't work out, you're not gonna have too much disappointment because you literally tried every single thing. And it's funny because now, even when stuff was looking messed up and stuff like that, I still kept on pushing forward. And now, me leaving school and eventually coming back, now I don't look so crazy because now the channel is at like 3,000 subscribers and videos is going up. But at the time, nobody could see that vision. At the time, everybody looking crazy. Oh man, you tripping? You stop playing basketball. You stop going to school, bro. You're wild, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing? But I knew I had that vision. I knew I could carry it out, and I knew I had to see it through because I knew that's what I wanted to do, and I felt like that's what I was called to do. So it's that type of thing where it's like you really can't come to people with all these different thoughts and goals because they won't get it because that's only for something for you to see. But eventually they will. Once you have something tangible that they can see in real life, and you have the numbers and money backing you up, of course they'll get it. But when it's a thought and you voice that thought, you can't expect people to get it because that's something only that you could feel and it's something that you only know where it's gonna go. But eventually reality will catch up with you because every day in the morning I used to wake up like, man, this video is gonna take off. I'm eventually gonna have this. I'm eventually gonna be able to do this. Eventually people gonna be watching it, blah, 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 whatever. And it's like, if you constantly manifesting and having that law of attraction and doing things that you say you're gonna do and doing it with positive intent and really putting those different type of things out there, then not too long after reality will catch up with you because it's like you putting that out there so you're gonna attract it. And that's called good karma. Because you gotta think what goes around comes around. I know a lot of times when people hear karma, they'll think it's something bad, but all karma isn't bad karma. If I do nice things just before the love of it and not expecting something in return, automatically I'm gonna get something back. So I say all that to say, bro, it's just like, if you really try to manifest and you really put hard work behind it and you really have that positive intent and you just keep on going even when stuff don't look the best, it's gonna work out, bro. And it's like you can't expect people to see that when it's only something that you really passionate about and you can see.
Yeah. When you talked about how you took that risk to exit in college to go pursue your YouTube career, that was a big risk. To other people, it seemed like it was crazy. To you, it seemed like it was a blessing. And to be honest with you, for me, from my Christian perspective here, I'm gonna add in what you were saying there about how good karma or how you took that risk. I'm gonna use these references you referenced earlier about risk and journey. So I'm gonna use a story from the Bible. Jesus, when you talk about the storms, right? Jesus was in a storm, I believe, I can't remember who exactly it was, but some of his followers, some people, and they were in the storm, if I'm not mistaken. Just make sure y'all research audience and y'all research just to make sure I'm saying this correctly because I don't give the word wrong. But I know there's people on there with him. They were nervous. They were scared. They thought they were going to die. They thought they were going to be destroyed.
Wow.
And Jesus said, peace be still. Once he said, peace be still, eventually they came out that storm peaceful. So the waters were controlled. The waters were controlled. They were tamed by Jesus because Jesus there, and they were scared, saying, Jesus, we're gonna die. Why be afraid when you had Jesus right there? Jesus right there. Jesus was Jesus ain't gonna let you die. Jesus just letting you go and build yourself up to become the best version of yourself. Now going back to what you did there with your risk, leaving college, that was a storm all by itself. And you dealt with a lot of thunder. You dealt with some thunder of people. You dealt with some what's so-called hail of people. You dealt with some other things of people. all types of things. Maybe
For sure.
tornadoes. I'll say that for another analogy. But you made it through.
Yeah.
And through all this, the peace was still in your heart because you said that, okay, have the idea to know that you got the vision, but no one else may not see it till they see it come to fruition, into reality, into
Yeah.
visible. And when you were talking about how you're the only one who can see it, that goes back to it. You were the only one who had the peace that was still in your heart. And that's awesome, man. And that's inspirational.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell you, you know?
I appreciate it, man. No doubt. You know, it was like, and I can't lie, bro. Like, those was like some really dark times, bro. I can't lie. Like, you know, I don't want people to get misconstrued. Like, okay, like, you know, I just felt good pretty much all the time. Like, oh yeah, I left school. I'm able to chill now. I'm able to focus on content or whatever. Like, it was far from that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was looking for a job since I wasn't in school, and it's crazy now. A lot of places need work, but they won't really be hiring people now. Like,
Yep.
it's just, I see it kind of way more harder to get a job now than I thought it was. So I was jobless for a little point in time. I'm just thinking, like, dude, videos been taking off, and it's kind of hard for me to find a job. Like, what am I doing? Like, maybe I really should have just like stayed in there, blah blah blah. And to tell you the truth, I probably could have stayed in there or whatever, but I was really focused on so much on content where I really felt like I wanted to hone, you know, the way all of that. So to each is their own. You feel me? I could have stayed in school or whatever, but in the moment, I made a different type of decision or whatever. I had to live with it, you know. Once you make that type, once you make certain type of decisions, you can't go back on it. You got to stand on it and really just like see it the way through. So once I made that decision, I mean, I had to stay true to my goals and stuff like that. And my thing was like this. Okay, I was like, okay, if I make this decision, I'm gonna really have to commit to my creative side and really like my content and stuff like that. Because I'm like, okay, I can't waste this time. If I'm gonna leave out and really pursue what I'm gonna pursue, I better pursue it. I better not be slacking and saying, oh, I'm gonna record and do this, and then I don't do it. So that was a commitment I made to myself. Okay, like if I'm gonna really take this risk and really do what I gotta do, I gotta make sure I stay on top of it and do it every single thing that I want to do. And it was even hard, like, you know, like when you really trying to maintain a high level of discipline and you're not seeing no feedback from it and not no notoriety, that's one of the hardest things in the world, bro. Where it's like you show up every day to work and you're really not getting nothing back from it. And yeah, you're planting the seeds, but it's like when you see like 10 views, 20 views, I don't really feel like you planting the seed. That feel like you just like not even doing nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? It was for sure like some dark times, bro, where like I wasn't depressed or nothing like that or in a depressive state, but I really used to ponder like with my thoughts and just think like, man, like if I can't really make this move like creatively, like dang, like how am I gonna do it? But at the end of the day, I told myself, okay, like even if this didn't go the way I thought it would, you know, at the end of the day, I'm trying. And it's just like, my thing was like, okay, if I look back on my life and seeing that I was trying and stuff like that, I mean, what more could I ask for, you know?
That's awesome. And that really is grateful that you were able to just be authentic about it and also just talk about how it wasn't just all sunshine and rainbow. It was actually
Yeah,
sad. It was actually a bad feeling. And, you know, you talked about how it's hard to get
yeah,
jobs, which we're going to get to that
it's
topic. But
tough.
I just also wanted to just let y'all know it was the Sea of Galilee at night in the book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 39. Because I try to go as accurate as I can with the, the Bible. I don't try to assume what I'm saying. So just want y'all to know, the audience, and y'all know where that was at. And back to you with the jobs and things. That's something that we can talk about here. Is about jobs, man. You know, people say that 9 to 5 jobs is what you need to do. When in reality, 9 to 5 jobs are hard to get. Number two, they'll lay you off. Number three, AI is taking over all these robots. And then with colleges saying, go to a 4-year college, this and that. When in reality, you can just go to a 2-year college for a trade, or either you may
For
not have to
sure.
go to college because, hey, if content creation or business is helping out, if it's helping you out, then you can just move forward. And for me, as an advocate for people following their purpose, I believe you should still go through your purpose, even if it isn't working out, because if it's truly divine by God, or if you're not a Christian, if you know that it's truly within your heart something you should do, keep doing
Definitely.
it, you know?
100%. Yeah, for sure, bro. And it's just like, you know, to tackle the few different things that you said, bro, it's like, I also feel like we're at a point in time where content creation is like a bandwagon too.
Yeah.
Like I feel like content creation is like the 10 years ago when somebody be like, yeah, I'm rapping. Like everybody had tried to start rapping. Like they basketball dreams or sports dreams wouldn't work out. So oh yeah, I'm finna rap. I'm finna do that. You feel me? So, but I really feel like if you actually have a passion with content creation, it's not just about the money and so-called fame or notoriety, and you really have a message to get out there, then you should do that. And then if you really have a business or a skill that you really want to promote and help people, then you should do that. But it's like, if it's so deeply rooted in money, then, I mean, we keeping it authentic. Like, I feel like if the sole basis of you doing something is just purely for the money, like, that's kind of weak, because it's at the end of the day, money is so up and down. Money will be here one day and gone the next. And it's like, when it's all said and done, you can't take none of that money with you. And it's like, how meanly, let me rephrase my word, how meaningless is it to think that wealth is defined by money? You know, wealth is up in like your mind. Wealth is in the people that you meet and the people that you meet and the people that you love and the person that you are. That's what wealth is, you know, because money can't buy that, you know.
And your health.
Money can't be, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I forgot to add that, especially your health, man, because, like, you know, you only get one body, so it's like you got to take care of it. And it's just like, money doesn't buy being like a stand-up person that does the right thing and doing all the different type of things. And it's something that can be bought. And it's like, when it's all said and done, people not gonna remember like the Gucci bag that you had, the type of car that you drove, what type of money that you made, blah blah blah, whatever, what you did. They'll remember how you made them feel, what type of person you were, and what you stood for. And that's all that it comes down to. So it's like, when you moving like that with positive intent, keeping those three things and forward, like whatever you're trying to do, there's really no way for you to lose. And don't get me wrong, in that pursuit of really trying to do great things, it's gonna get tough and it's gonna be lonely. And it's like, even when you still do get like the notoriety or whatever you do, whether you like a chef, a doctor, content creator, businessman, athlete, whatever, even when you do hit them different type of goals that you hit and you get the so-called, man, I finally made it, not all your problems go away. And that's what I felt too. Like, when our video had took off and I got like subscribers and stuff like that, I thought like, damn, I'll be set, I'll feel good, I wouldn't even trip about it, whatever. But that's not the case. You know, you'll still go through the same different type of things. Like, I even pull from even like my personal experiences. It's just like, on this journey of this content creation and pushing this creative side of my life, it's oftentimes when I feel real lonely. You know what I'm saying? Because like, day-to-day life, I'm pretty much like alone. You feel me? I go to work, I go work out, I go film, then I like chill on my own. But pretty much most of my days, so I'm like alone. And if it causes you to really internalize that, and really feel like, damn, I don't really got nobody looking out for me, or like, I don't really got a whole lot of friends, when in reality you do, or you might not. And that can really make you feel lonely. I feel like, you know, when I have supporters, or when I got notoriety for my videos, and I had all these different type of subscribers and people watching me, I thought that might almost fill that void. Like, oh dang, I won't even feel like that no more because I have all these people watching. But it's still like there. So just because certain goals are happening, like, that doesn't mean like, you know, you'll feel like, doesn't mean everything will still go away. You'll still have the same type of problems, like, you know, that everybody else will go through. And to those people that have those different type of issues, not even with being lonely, but just other different type of things, I say welcome that. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter what in life, bro, like, there's always gonna be like a little bit of friction with whatever you do, you know. So it's just like, really just welcome that. Really just like, it's just a part of life, and you really just gotta accept it. It's inevitably gonna be highs and lows, and so many different things going on. It's just like how you said when you made that quote from the Bible. I think it when like peace is still, or something like that. You
Peace
said,
be still. Peace be still.
yeah, peace be still, and that really just comes from just like having a balance. You know, you always gotta have a different type of balance, and that's all that it really comes down to, man.
Yeah. And what you say about there, I'm gonna comment back on that, piggyback on there with you with loneliness. That is so true. You know, for me personally, I was locked in COVID for isolation from 2020 all the way to now. And I had a friend named Jeremy Patterson. You know, he was a good friend. So he moved to Texas back in 2021 in June. After he moved, we never talked ever since because he was, you know, out of town. We still check up now, but every time we check up, it's like every once a month or every once. Like, for example, it can be like June.
Yeah,
and I
man.
won't hear him from like all the way till September, October. And then I had a cousin at the time I just met. He wasn't being consistent because at the time he was doing his little shenanigans. You know, he was still young and mature, doing crazy things.
Yeah, for
And then
sure.
So I was really lonely. So I understand how you feel, especially working with success, having those, like, how do you say, those late nights, early mornings, however it is. I know that is everything, because I
Literally,
did a
bro.
bunch of stuff. I've worked out by myself. I've done YouTube videos by myself. I played video games by myself. Everything I've done basically inside the house, of course, because, COVID, and I was virtual. Once I got in person to school back at 22, that helped out a lot, because I was now more sociable I was back to being more sociable like how I was pre-COVID. And even during COVID, I was sociable. I just didn't have no one to talk to. And that helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
And also that helped my awareness, because when I went back to high school, people were like, this influencer guy, he goes to our school? And I was like, yeah. He said, whoa, I'm glad to see you. Big fan of you. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, hey, yeah, I know I'm a
Oh
celebrity.
wow.
I know I'm a celebrity, but hey, be real with me, man. Let's just be real people. You ain't gotta give me no high respect or bow. But you're not doing this, but don't bow down to me. You don't have to bow down to me. I'm a normal person just like anyone else. And then of course, when I just
Yeah.
graduated, because I just graduated this year, 3 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah. Congrats.
Thank you. 3 weeks ago, May 25th, at the North Charleston Coliseum, 440 Chester High School. A lot of
Oh.
people, before my graduation day, I know my last day of school, a lot of people say I was gonna be missed. Teachers, students, staff, custodians, because I bring that.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, man. I'm just speaking from
No, for
fact,
sure.
being authentic,
Yeah.
like we've been agreeing to, be fellowship on that topic, and it's just that there's an authentic guy, really, speaking guy that's very of an encouragement, and that's all I try to be, try to be the best
Yeah.
person I can be, every day. We're all human, we all got our flaws, but I try to be the best person I can be, man. And I know I laid a legacy at that school and my other two schools as well, because they've always said I've done great things, but particularly in my high school, I know I left a great legacy, and I know all these experiences, like you said with you, experiences are all pinpoints to helping you become the person you can become today. Which then, in final, led me to being who I am today too, being a wonderful podcaster,
Yeah.
visual speaker, author, and just a wonderful person. And just trying to be my best to be a great follower of Christ as well. That's the main thing.
Yeah. For sure, bro. Yeah, definitely, man. I know you definitely did say a lot. I'm gonna touch on one of the early points that you made too, though. Like, just like you said, your friend had moved to Texas and stuff like that. And you was kind of feeling lonely and stuff like that, bro. And it's like, I definitely feel like, since we both guys and stuff like that, like, I feel like as guys and just man, you kind of taught to kind of shield your little emotions. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like you could speak up on
Yeah,
how you feel, but you always kind of gonna play it off nonchalant, like it's not really a big deal because as a guy you're supposed to be strong. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And it's just like I feel like us as guys we go through a lot of different things, feeling lonely, whatever, but we really don't talk about it because it's just like what we look like talking about it to our boy, like yeah, man. I was crying, man. I had a lot going on. What you look like saying that to your boy. You know what I'm saying? It's like certain relationships with certain guys, you can't say that. But I feel like women are way more apt to say like, oh, I'm going through this, blah, 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 I need to talk than us guys do. You know what I'm saying? Which it shouldn't be like that.
yeah,
It should be that duality where you're able to talk to your mans and be able to speak out and stuff like that. And it's like, I feel like we kind of make it more lonely than it has to be. But I also feel like with that journey to like success and really pushing and breaking like the mold and trying to do certain things, I feel like that journey is inevitably going to be lonely because it's just like certain things you have to go through to really pursue what you're really trying to do and really have like that awareness and all those different type of things. And that's hard. And that'll deter a lot of people because it'll be like, damn, it's really lonely, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I can make it through or whatever. And I feel like it's this one quote. I think it comes from the Bible. I forget who said it, but it was like, many are called, but few are chosen, you know? And that's one of the different type of things. It's like, not the cast and say I'm better than like other people, but it's just like, a lot of people are called, but it's like, you really want to pursue success and really do these so-called big things. Not even having to do a video. It's just anything that you want to do. Like you really got to sacrifice and really have like that discipline. And it's like, it's going to sound super cliche, but it's like, it's going to be, of course, a bunch of lonely nights and a lot of early mornings. And I can't lie, like that's pretty much all my life is where it's just like you up late at night editing, you working out, you doing all these different type of things, you
yeah.
waking
Same for me.
early and you're not really hanging out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're not
Yeah,
really hanging out and you single,
yeah.
and you single too.
That's what I'm
That'll
saying.
really
Yeah,
take a toll because yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like that'll really take a toll because it's like, damn, like all I'm doing is grinding, trying to build up my future.
Yep.
I think
No
I wish I
friends,
had
no
like a
girlfriend, no
or
nothing. It's just you and God. Or how I say it, me and God.
yeah,
If you're not a believer or not, I don't know.
yeah,
You know, man?
mhm. Yeah, and it's like it's really tough, bro. I feel like that's one of my struggles too, bro. Because it's just like I'm content with being alone, but naturally, like as a human being, you also want to have like
Yeah.
companionship, somebody to talk to, where it's just like, oh man, I made this new creation, I made this new edit and stuff like that, blah blah blah. I want you to check it out, and not having that, especially when you grinding all the time and you focused on bettering yourself, that could be really hard because it's just like you don't really have. I mean, you do have outlets and friends and stuff like that, but nothing compares to like that relationship or that companionship where you're just able to like relate to like your so-called person and stuff like that. So that's one of my biggest struggles, kind of like not having that, but also growing through it and really like leaning in on just like using it solitude and not looking at it as loneliness, but really using this time valuably and really learning myself. Because
Yeah.
it's like if I'm learning myself and really figuring out what I'm about, I feel like naturally I attract somebody with a similar mindset that has done work just like I have as well. But the biggest key is just like waiting until you find it. And it's really hard not to just go off in all these different type of things to try to have like these meaningless relationships or surface level relationships where it really doesn't mean a whole lot, but you kind of bored, so you just talking to that person, just cause. When it's like you really want that deep connection, but in order to have those deep connections, you have to do that deep inner work. You can't chase it because when you're chasing something, that means that it's running away. But when you're attracting something, that means that you're doing whatever you got to do to attract that, so you're not running. And you always want to attract something versus then chasing something because that means it's running away from you.
That's so true. That's so true when you say about tracking something instead of chasing it, because it goes back even with the people. Why be around people that don't support you? And that even goes especially if it's a relative or a close friend. Why sit there and
Yeah,
try to please them if you know they're not going to be around you? Or be around people that you do attract. Like even for me personally, I personally will disagree that sometimes most of my friends or most of the people out in the internet, adults too, not just young people, adults too,
yeah,
can give better advice, sometimes better than even your relatives can, you know? And
yeah, man.
that's just the reality, and I think that's the problem. Going back to now that you said about masculine and everything masculinity, I'm gonna say that right now about that, and that aligns with what I'm saying right now with the family members and friends too. Tradition. We believe in tradition. That not we believe in tradition. Some people believe in tradition. And the tradition is that a man should not have emotion. A woman should not be independent. Parents or grandparents should always
Yeah,
tell the truth. Your friends are not always good. They're always evil. Not to answer all four of those. Number one, as a man, we're human just like anyone else. And even Jesus wept. That's even in the Bible. Jesus wept. Number two, also,
yeah,
we're talking about tradition as in the woman can't be independent. Let women be independent if they want to. You're seeing all these athletes, all these women doing great things. Whatever they can do, if it's in God's will, let them do it. Number three, your grandparents,
yeah,
parents are
sure.
always the one that has wisdom. Sometimes it's not always them. Sometimes it's other people. And sometimes for some people, they may be the worst people ever to help you get the advice you need to get to be successful. And then in some households, it can be the best. It depends on the perspective of what
Yeah,
they're saying. If they're stuck in their ways and have limited beliefs, or if they agree with you. But the best thing is, if they don't
yeah,
agree with you, they should agree to disagree and just move on. Don't even listen to it, and just you have your point, I have my point, and move on. And then for number four, not everybody's always wicked, because I always hear that saying, especially from my parents. Mainly my father and my mother. My father really, he liked to say, "Well, be careful. All your buddies ain't." Maybe because he experienced that. That's why he tells me that. Because sometimes when, especially older generations, when they have experiences, that can sometimes change their trajectory. Their experience can sometimes change who they are, and may allow them to sometimes place on their children to be avoiding that. But sometimes your children may can do better than you. And even for me, compared to my father's life when he was younger, the people I be around isn't really necessarily shisty. I've had maybe a few people that have been slick and shisty and cunning, but most of them have always been good and
yeah,
loyal. And even with that, even with Jesus, if everybody's so wicked, why did Jesus choose 12 disciples? Huh. That answered the question right there.
yeah,
When that's gonna answer the question right there. When people say why of be careful of your friends and everything like that, you should be aware. But why say that the whole world's negative? People are wicked. Anywhere you go, people are wicked. When in reality, they're not, because Jesus chose 12 disciples. And out of this whole world, he chose 12 disciples. And that shows you right there that. Oh, right now while I'm editing, I still wanted to go back and piggyback on that topic. Yes, he did choose 12 disciples, but one of them had actually betrayed Jesus, and his name was Judas. So I just want y'all to know that, yes, there are still a good bit of people in the world, but you still have some people that are wicked. But I forgot to mention that part when I was speaking on the recording. There are people out here, maybe nowadays because we may live in a town that's kind of bad, I don't know. But that show you that nowadays too, that there's still a good bit of people in this world. There's still awesome, inspirational people in this world. Everybody's not here to try to be quick, rich, get screamed, try to scam you, try to be around you for money. Some people are just really loyal. But it depends on how you will be aware of it and how you see it, But people get too caught up in
and actually to touch on something.
Generalizing. I'm going to say the last thing. People generalize things too much. And that goes with past generations and our generation at times too. That goes with anybody.
Yeah, for sure. And like to touch on the point that you made way back when, like how you said, like it just depends on the perspective of the friends and family and stuff like that. Sometimes people don't fully understand, because like if you tell your grandma, you have to do YouTube full time to make money, she might think, oh, you need to get a job, you need to go to school, but she doesn't realize, how much money that's put into that. And to that point, you really can't blame her, because it's a whole different type of demographic and a whole different level of understanding. So one thing I could say is like also give people like a little bit of grace and friends, because it's like they're going through life just like how you are going through life, and that doesn't mean like they shouldn't support you. They still should support you. But sometimes they do support you, but it has a weird way of coming out because they don't fully understand it or are equipped with the tools to really be able to understand what you're saying. But over time, when they see more things pop up in like the physical realm, they know more what's going on, because it's like, okay, now that people see like, YouTube following going up or whatever, now it makes more sense for like them to support, and now that they get it, because in their eyes it's more profitable and it's more successful because of the numbers. Even though for me, when I only had 50 subscribers, I still felt the same way about my channel. Like, oh, okay, it's going to eventually take off. It's going to eventually do this, blah, blah, blah. Because I already had that in my mind, But sometimes you got to give people time to catch up to really understand it. And just like how you mentioned with your father, kind of people saying people are wicked and stuff like that, and a lot of people could have your best interest. That is true. But I also feel like it's definitely a duality where it's like you really got to feel people out. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes a lot of people want to see you doing good, but not better than them. So it's just like, of course, stuff always seems cool and stuff like that, but it's like everything is cool like until it's not, So really, like, I don't like to use the phrase like, man, it's hard for me to trust people. I just say I trust people to be themselves. You show me all what you're about until like you show me something different than like who you are, and then I just move accordingly. You feel me? But it's like you should always give somebody a fair chance to really show them who you are, because the video that I'm actually making coming up soon talks about how your past experiences and trauma can hold you back from like, the new life that's meant for you.
That's good.
So it's like, yeah, thank you. It's like if you had a girlfriend or whatever that like let's say was talking to somebody else, blah blah blah, or whatever, cheated and stuff like that. You can't go into your next relationship thinking like, oh, dang, this new girl, this new woman will do the same exact thing with me. It's like, nah, that's a completely different person. You can't harbor that different type of stuff into a new relationship, because that has nothing to do with her, and she really could be a good person, and you should give her the chance to really show those different type of qualities. But if you hang on to that, you can mess up something that's actually good for you because you're still holding on to them things that's not healed. And I feel like that's why hookup culture is so glorified, because people don't take time to really sit with themselves and really sit down and really figure out what they need to heal through and figure out. And they don't like to be alone. They like to push that away, and just they like to fill that void with like a new person that they're talking to, or 3 new people that they're talking to, because who wants to do the uncomfortable inner work? But it's like when you do the uncomfortable inner work, think about how many good stuff comes from that. You figured yourself out more, and more than likely, you're going to attract other people with the same likely mindset, and you're going to have deeper connections, which I feel like all humans will. Deep down, I feel like everybody wants deep connections, but through this world of such things being fast paced and social media being click, 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 like, comment, boom, boom, boom. I feel like it just makes dating and just like friendships and relationships so shallow because everything is so quick and it's just like such a dopamine effect. And it's honestly crazy, but it's all still beautiful at the same time, man. So it's really just kind of striking out that balance and just also just really realizing, you really just got to find your tribe. You know what I'm saying? Like you really just got to find the type of people that's sticking with you and really figure out the people that's not wicked and really are for you. And that just takes time for people to, show you who they are,
Yeah, yeah. And even for me as a Christian, I believe too, once God gave you that spirit of discernment, he'll let you know who's to be around if you have that good connection with God to actually understand his awareness, because he's not going to give his mystery to anybody. He only gives it to the people that actually
for sure.
eagerly and diligently want to
For
see.
sure.
And back to what you said earlier about really you got to find your own tribe and things, and that people can't just generalize everything, and they got to look at how to get to know the person. That's just how I am too. I got to get to know the person. It's a point here. People do generalize everything. Everything has to be generalized, and it goes back even to people, but it goes back even to money. Even
I just took that picture
I made a
of
video
my
about
little
this, but I had
followers.
deleted it. It make no sense. People generalize so much things, and even when it comes to your friendships and things, people just think that all your friends are gonna be bad, especially when you be successful, because they be afraid of that because they see so much stories. But everybody's not the same person, and that goes back generalizing even with money. Because I made a video about this, but I deleted it because that made no sense. But money shouldn't define your purpose. I'm gonna say it right now, because instead of making a whole 10-minute episode, I'm gonna just add this in. Your purpose shouldn't be defined by money, because if money dictates everything, then just working 9 to 5, that's the case, because money is just a resource. And when people look at your purpose, they think that when you have your purpose, you should make money just like a job. When in reality, your purpose is something that was divine, that was really from God, or if you're not a Christian, from you. It shouldn't be something that, I need to do money, because it should be something that you want to do without the money. Now, if it's a 9 to 5 job, that's different. When you just want something for money. But your purpose shouldn't be defined by the income. And people generalize that by saying if you don't make money from your purpose, then you're a failure, you're a coward, you're this and that. Or if you haven't made it in years, you're a loser. But you're not a loser, because it's all part of the process, like we said earlier. Sometimes you may have to start out doing your passion for free to eventually make income. What I did, I started doing podcasting for free to eventually I started making money at 14. In 2021, there's tax reasons why I couldn't make money. Now I'm back to making money. Then with my books, I started selling some of them for free, give away some of them free, and started selling them. And now my clothing merch, with this, I haven't sell these really, but I haven't given these for free yet, but I'm starting to sell these online. So that's what you got to do. You got to start out from being free to then making it expensive, because when somebody sees something and they get to see it for free, they'll be like, that's good. Then when they start charging, they'll be like, here's my wallet. I like this. Because your purpose is not defined by income. It's defined by how your work ethic is toward it, and how excellent you can do it to please not just people, but really to please God. And if you don't, like I say once again, if you don't believe, you're not a believer. Yourself, at least please yourself.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, because it's just like, your purpose should be something so deeply rooted where monetary things and just earthly things shouldn't be stole at and kind of change that, Purpose should be something that's deeply rooted where that can't be taken away from anything. And you shouldn't let money define, like, these monetary gains where, okay, well, yeah, if your purpose is making you money, then that's so-called good. I mean, who are these people to judge your life? Only the universe and God or whatever you believe in can really judge that. And it's just like, if you're walking in your truth and living in your truth and being who you say you are and being authentic, there's really no wrong that you can go. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's really what it's all about. Honestly, just like walking in your light and really doing what you want to do, because it's like, if you aren't living your life for you, then who else are you really living it for? And I mean, life is so short, and the time that we do get is luck, because nothing is guaranteed at all. So it's just like, with the precious time that you do get, you want to live it the way that you want to live it and really just hone in on what you want to hone in. I mean, you only get one shot, so it's like, you got to make it count, and you got to let go of things that don't serve you. There's no point in just keeping things that weigh on you and stuff like that.
Yeah, most definitely. And what are some other goals you're looking forward to doing? And also, with that question to add in, what are some things? What are your plans in the 5 years, or where do you see yourself in the 5 years?
Yeah, so basically, some of my upcoming plans are kind of touching on just 5 years from now. I obviously want Conclusion to keep on growing. Eventually, I want to try to hold like brick and mortar events to talk to people like speeches and stuff like that. Or the whole 9 yards, just really impacting people, all sorts of different type of things. And something recently I took up was tennis. I don't know, I just was kind of called just kind of to do it. And I just thought it would be cool to just kind of be like a tennis player. So I'm actually taking it really serious. So hopefully, probably not go pro or nothing like that, but it's like if I could get into certain type of like little semi-pro tournaments and stuff like that, little kind of like amateur, like I don't know, like tournaments and stuff like that. I feel like that'd be cool. Just still keeping, my health good, my body right, and all that different type of stuff, and still having like a physical goal. And 5 years from now, I'll for sure be done with my career because I'm going back to school and I'm going to try to hop into a hygiene program so I could become a hygienist. And hygienist is where you clean people's teeth and stuff like that. And because I mean, at the same time too, it's like you for sure want to go all in on your dreams, but it's like just like how you say, your purpose doesn't have to be something that makes you money. And for me, I do want my purpose to make me some type of money, but it's like stuff doesn't just happen just like this. I can't be like, okay, yep, I'm starting making money. I'm starting to make money off YouTube. Okay, I'm quitting everything else. It's like, yeah, you still should stay in school just to have, like, that safety net where you're still able to do basic
Yeah.
things, like able to get food, able to buy groceries.
Yep.
So it's like, it's a process, you know what I'm saying? So that's like that whole thing. So that's what I'm going to school for or whatever. And then besides that, just like I said before, I'm recently trying to learn animation, being able to animate cartoons. I'm really taking my time with that because I mean that's something really hard to learn, really complex. But over time, I want to be able to have like an animated cartoon series where we touch on real life topics. Obviously, keeping conclusions going, and then becoming like a better tennis player or whatever. And really just whatever I'm called to do, man. Whatever my heart feels like it's supposed to
Yeah.
do, I'm pretty much just gonna run full steam ahead to really like attack that and really just live a good life, man. So I really try to keep everything open, because I don't want to ever be boxed in and stuff like that. But all of it is rooted in just like the self development and just exploration of the self, and really just figure out further, like who I am honestly.
Yeah. And also, when you talk about that cartoon, I'm down to do any voice work for it because I have voice work experience because I've been a voice actor for Mortal Kombat Retold. It was a fan-made podcast that basically told the history of Mortal
Wow.
Kombat, and I played as Fujin, and I played as some side background characters, really. But I have some experience in voiceover, so if you ever need me for that, I'm down to help out in the project, and you don't have
Yeah.
to even pay me. You don't have to pay me. I can go for free. And if you want to pay me, as
Oh
I still
wow.
do,
Okay. Yeah, that's
but I'm
love.
down to do it for free, man. I ain't, you ain't got to charge me, because you're already a guest on my podcast, man. And guess what, and I don't believe in return the favor. I just believe helping people out, and just to help them. And
Yeah.
I would love to help out and get your stuff out there, man, because the motivation you do and the personal growth and really self-discovery stuff you do is awesome, man. And
Yeah. I
when you do
appreciate it,
tennis,
dog. That's
make
love.
sure to invite me because I want to see that games now. I want to see them
Oh
games
yeah,
if you
bet
get
that, bro.
pro. If you get pro now, if you get pro, So hey, but you say you don't want to do pro, but you don't know if you might get pro. Take me them games now. I was
Yeah, I
cracking
mean, at
jokes.
the same time, like, like, it would be cool, but obviously, just knowing, like, professionals are professionals for a reason, and that's probably
Yeah,
like the top 5% of
definitely.
like the world and stuff like that, which is cool. But my thing is like, if I could qualify like for like lesser tournaments and stuff like that, that are just like, when I say like lesser, I don't mean like discrediting the people that play in those tournaments, but just saying like, you still playing for competition. You still might make a little bit of money out of it, and it's still great content for conclusions because I'm starting a new skill that I don't know anything about, but yet I made it this far just practicing the same thing every day and just learning it over time. And that by itself is motivational because it's like a lot of people have new things that they want to start, new skills, but they don't start because they don't know it or they feel nervous or, when you first start out, of course it's going to come out really bad. You know what I'm saying? So all sorts of different type of things, bro. But yeah, for sure. If I need voiceovers like for the animation and stuff like that, it'll kind of be a little ways away because I'm really learning to script basics. But I definitely keep you in mind, bro, for sure. And definitely,
Yeah.
like once some tennis games show up and stuff like that, probably like once I kind of get up there and stuff like that, get it pretty good. They'll probably add like them little live streams and all that. So it'll definitely be
Yeah.
cool, and I'll definitely be able to keep track of it through the Kenclusions YouTube and stuff like that. And really, like what I plan on doing eventually is a while ago I had a phone app. I created a phone app where people was able to mess with conclusions and have downloaded the app. But basically,
Yeah.
keeping the app, I was losing about $70 a month. And $70 is a lot.
Mm.
Added up over time, it's a lot. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
what I'm turning it into eventually is I'm gonna create a YouTube membership. I haven't figured out the price yet, but I do want to have it be something cheap because I'm not really trying to be a catcher. I really just want to have it as a way for people to have access to exclusive content because my YouTube videos that I do on my main page are generalized, but they still have a point of view that is unique to me and can still provide substance to other people. But that works for that broad audience that I'm trying to tap into because they'll click on a video of something that's relatable to them, but they won't necessarily click on the video where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm trying to play tennis or whatever. So that's
Yeah.
why that would be like for my more like, let's say, devoted supporters or people that really want to see that different type of stuff, where I could talk about my journey through that. And that still is rooted in conclusions and in the self-development because I'm learning a new skill and I'm trying and maybe motivation to other people while also keeping my content that's public, keeping it more general so I can still bring more supporters into conclusions and from them falling in love with the content that's out there that's public. Eventually they might, subscribe to like the exclusive content and see more who I am and get more information and feel inspired by my own story that's more so unique to me, because you could take inspiration from like a lot of different places, you know what I'm saying? I never use say fans of conclusions. Like I view you guys as like that will eventually watch this as supporters, because I feel like when you say fans, it's kind of like a little bit ego driven. A little bit. It just depends on what type of
Yeah.
profession
It
you're in
does.
for sure.
It does. I don't like to say
Because I'd be
fans
like,
either, man.
yeah, because it's like, man, I got all these fans that support me. It's like I don't really like the way
Yeah.
that sounds. I like to just say supporter, where it's like you take time out your
Supporters.
day to
Yeah.
watch my
Supporters.
videos.
Listeners. Viewers. Something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
like
Yeah.
literally. Yep. Yeah, viewers, listeners, supporters, all that, but never really say fans. I just don't want people to
Yeah.
feel like they're taken for granted. That I don't want to come off as
Yeah.
like, or like
Yeah.
grateful. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we definitely did talk about a lot of things too. If you got like a few more questions that you want to ask, right? I'd love to answer
What?
it for sure, though, bro.
Yeah. 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 What? Yeah. But what you had said earlier, though, man, about the fans. Yeah. Because when I first started podcasting, that's how you say fans, and I said that don't sound right, man. That don't sound right. I like saying listeners or viewers or something like that.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
do that. And like you said earlier, man, about how you pursue your dreams, but then you also want to have that safety net. That's what I'm doing as well too. For me doing cybersecurity, I tried it, man, because I always tell people I've been saying this since earlier my senior year of this past year. I've been saying cybersecurity is going to pay the bills, but my
for sure.
podcasting thing that's going to pay my bills, as in bills of needing to be fulfilled. If you get what I'm saying there.
Wow, yeah, that's a gem.
You know,
I like
like
the way you worded that.
Like I never said it that way now. I just came up with that way of saying it. But for months now, I just been saying that pays the bills. But that's just the purpose. But in reality, since I came up with that today, my purpose will pay my bills of fulfillment. But cybersecurity will pay my bills, as in my real life bills, until I become financially stable. I don't like to say secure, financially stable, to the point where I can make everything be full time. Once everything's full time, then I'll quit on that cybersecurity thing, because at the end of the day, I'll have a degree, which is good. But once I get full time with my stuff, if things don't tend to go right, I can always depend on my cybersecurity degree. If cybersecurity still be a big field in the future, because things will
Yeah, I like
change
the way
and
that you
stuff
worded
will
that as
change.
well, bro.
Huh?
I like the way that you worded that as well, bro. How you said that, the cybersecurity would pay the bills, but your podcast would pay like the bills of, fulfillment. I love the way you worded that, actually.
Yeah, man. So that's gonna be my next quote on Twitter. I'm put on my T-shirt because most
No, yeah, for
actually fun
sure,
fact
bro.
here, man. A lot of people probably don't know this, but if you're a diehard fan or if you know me from a long time, when I first started podcasting, most of my brand, like these T-shirts, these aren't just random quotes. These are my signature quotes that I actually put on Twitter years ago, like in 2021, 2022, 2023,
Oh, wow.
24. Like these were quotes I made in the past, leading up to now, that I now put on shirts, and that's how I build the awareness of self-improvement, personal growth, motivation, inspiration through these shirts. Especially because I'm a Christian. This one specifically says, like, stop doing what others want for you, but start doing what God wants for you. Can't say the whole thing, but even with that,
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
having that inspiration, man. Especially for me as a Christian, try to involve Christ in what I'm saying as well. People that can know I'm a Christ man. Excuse me, no, I'm a Christ follower. So and I just all my motivation, inspiration, and most of my content is from my perspective, but my perspective aligns with what the Bible says because my experiences aligns with what the Bible says. And I try to make sure that everything not my experiences, I try to make sure that the experiences I have align with what the words say. And anything that I learned from my experiences that weren't godly or anything like that, then they would just be set aside if they don't apply to the scripture, because when people say things are not godly, it doesn't actually have to mean things that are carnal, things that just don't align with scripture.
For
Like,
sure,
I
bro.
was, do you have anything to say on anything I just said recently?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, I'm glad that you have something that's deeply rooted. You know what I'm saying? That where it's just like, you're not just making shirts where it's okay, I'm gonna just throw this quote on it and hopefully it sells. It's deeply rooted in who you are, and that's important. I feel like people will sense that and then they'll focus on the authenticity because it's just like you're not focused on just like surface level things. It's rooted very deeply in something and it's relatable. I definitely relate to how you said, like I said before, cyber security to pay the bills, but your purpose and what you want to do in the podcast really pays the fulfillment you have in life, and that's important, bro. And it's just like the purpose, like we said before, like I said way back, probably like 30 minutes ago, is like your purpose isn't something that can be bought, and especially at this young age that you just got out of high school. Got out of high school like 2 years ago, so we both still mad young, but
Yeah,
especially coming out of high school, you really being able to realize that and know where you're headed, I mean, that's like a blessing, bro. Because
yeah,
like a lot of people, even like when they're super later ages, they still don't get that, bro. So that's definitely what I had to say about that, bro. And I appreciate you sharing that too. Before I answer this next question,
yeah, man. What age are you?
I just turned 20 2 days ago.
Oh, congratulations! So you graduated 2 years ago.
Yeah, yep,
So yeah, you started YouTube channel at age 19. That's awesome, man. To start a channel and now you're able to accomplish, just big starting things just to help you out in your career. That's good, man. Excellent. And one more thing before I get to the next question is you have the brand Kenclusions. So is Kenclusions basically the brand of it now, the clothes and stuff? Is that basically like something that like you really wanted to do that inspired you to like spread the message out there, or that's just something you just do just to expand the YouTube channel? Like, go more into
yeah.
detail with
So
that.
really, bro, it's not even really like when I first started off, I wanted it to be a brand, but I ain't gonna lie, I really just keep it super authentic. I mean, it's a lot of work that goes in like creating clothes, talking to a manufacturer, producing it, using all your money really to fund it, then hoping people will buy it. Then let's say they don't really do it. It's like a lot of work. I mean, it's cool,
Yeah,
but that's what I try to like. What I will do, like in the future, it's like it's mainly just gonna be merch or like a shirt, jacket, hoodie, sweats, or something like that. I really probably as of right now, I mean you never know, but as of right now, I really don't see myself really turning Kenclusions into like a full on brand where it's super focused on clothes. I really just might try to focus on just doing merch, little merch drops. So like if you support our Kenclusions, you could rock something cool that you feel comfortable in. And it's, just cool. But yeah, as far as really making clothes full time, I don't really see that in my future as of right now. Just because I really like making videos and it's really like my bread and butter. And at the end of the day, Kenclusions is like, obviously way bigger than a YouTube channel, but the basis of it is helping people having to be a YouTube channel. So yeah, I mean, clothes is cool, but I really just try to keep it at just really like merch, and then eventually have the merch be just like for like my exclusive members and stuff like that. So it really feels like a family. You really kind of feel like
Yeah,
inside circle type thing, you know?
yeah. I respect your perspective on that too, man, because that's actually a unique way of thinking about it. Because I never really heard people actually say like they make their clothes exclusive for their audiences. Because most people, they usually just like have the clothes out there and like they may give like certain people discounts, but like that's it. That's one thing I've heard. Like when it comes to like exclusive subscribers and stuff, like usually discounts. But when you said specifically the whole merch is only exclusive to the viewers or like to your audience, that's actually excellent, man, and wonderful. Because that's something that nobody really would think of, and that's unique. I know for me, just wanted to add in my point there too. My brand, like I said, for me, I'm just here to just build the awareness of self improvement, personal growth, and positivity, and just to I want the development pod shop to be merch for the podcast, but I also want it to be its own thing too, so that it can align with the podcast, but it can be its own thing. Like with my books, yes, they align with my podcast, but my books are their own little thing. I want everything to be like their own little separate projects. Like for example, like Batman franchise. Batman has Batman. He has Nightwing. He has Red
Yeah,
Hood. But
right.
they're all under right. That's the same way how I am with my stuff. Like I want them to be under Brendan Brown, but they all are like expansions of what it is. I don't want them to all be. They could be connected, but I don't want them all to just feel like they should always be connected. Like these are different resources for people to reach out and support the podcast or my message. If you don't like to read
Yeah, for
books,
sure.
you can wear clothes. If you don't like to wear clothes, then you can watch YouTube. Which somebody actually, let me rephrase that. You should wear clothes. If you don't like to buy merch, then hey, that's your personal opinion. You can just watch the videos for free. Try to reach out as
Yeah,
much
for
as you
sure.
can. That's how I try to get my message out there. And I respect your decision on that, man, because that's excellent there, what you just said.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. Because I feel like, I feel like the merch and like real exclusive content really should be like for really like your main devoted like supporters, but not being devoted to me as an individual, but just devoted to like the idea of conclusions and really just like the self development. And then naturally, you'll probably want to rock, what you support. So that's really all it is, man. I appreciate you giving your perspective too, and just really like giving me real feedback and really just acknowledging like kind of like my way of thinking when it came to that, bro. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You doing, especially before we even get into this next question too, because you don't have to do that all. So I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. And the last question I want to ask here is, what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh, that's a great question, man. Uh, man, I really want my legacy as a person. It's just like blah blah blah, whatever. Like the basis of it, I really wanted to just be a person that I want people to look back as me as a person and be like, man, that guy really made me feel like I could really do what I wanted to do. I want to be that guy that helped you really realize where your goals was and made you feel like it was attainable. I want to bridge the gap between you and your goals, where it's like all conclusions is just a bridge to get you to where you need to be. And I'm not so big into just like the credit and I want to be remembered with the family. Whatever. I really just want the work to speak for itself, because naturally just letting your work show for yourself, that'll naturally bring you fulfillment. And that's just really what I wanted to be, man. Just the person that help people and really show people that they can make their dreams come true if they put in the work and just sacrifice the time and really follow their heart. And that's really like the biggest thing, bro. Just showing people that they could be more than what they already were. And it's just like, I feel like in life, it's not about what you could get, it's about what you could get back. So if my
Yeah.
legacy is a person that
Yes.
made you feel like your dreams could come true and like all the different things that you wanted to happen. I mean, what more could you ask for? I mean, that's way more important than money and anything else because you help change people's lives in a better way and help them improve their own lives. So that's why I feel like I'm so attracted to just like the positivity and just the motivational stuff because even though it's a real general topic, I can relate to everybody. It's beautiful because everybody could give something that's positive. So if I could just be that vessel of goodwill and just be a servant of just goodwill, man, that's all I can ever ask for, man. I feel like the work could speak for itself and that it automatically give me fulfillment, because it's not about me. Conclusions isn't just about me. It's really just about people that want to be better for themselves, man. So that's what I want my legacy to be, man.
That's good. That's good. Thank you, man, for coming on the show. It was a pleasure getting to have you, and you're welcome to always come back on. And thank you for just spreading your knowledge and your wisdom of inspiration and motivation, and not just that, but just really deep down personal growth and self-discovery of finding your purpose, but just being the best version of you.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me, man. I appreciate you making time today, bro. Really reaching out to me to really make this happen. Definitely look forward to coming back soon, man. Definitely appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir.